All right. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, guys. Welcome to another episode of Wake Up American. This is your daily American English pronunciation show. We're trying to make sure that you get your 5 to 10 minutes of pronunciation practice in for the day because that's what it takes. If you are seriously interested in trying to take your pronunciation to the next level, you need to show up, get your practice in 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, things like that every day. And we're here to help out with that Monday through Friday, although there are some holidays coming up soon, just to note. But to guide you in this process, there is me. Hello, my name is Jeff. Rise of breath. It's one of the four keys to a natural sound in American English pronunciation. And what we're going to be doing today is for those of you based in Europe, we're going to be taking a look at how at the most common names in the last couple of years in your respective countries and showing you how would an American pronounce them. So obviously we're not talking about how to correctly pronounce names. We're just trying to give you an idea. For instance, if you went to North America and you said your name, how could you expect people in the US to pronounce it? So we're going to try to give you some guidance in case you're trying to just get an idea what to expect or just for fun or whatever the reason may be. If you have a name that you would like us to take a look at, you can also let us know in the chat or in the comments afterwards. Before we get into that, we're going to be practicing all these names and things in our pronunciation group on Telegram as well. So if you want to practice your own pronunciation, I encourage you to go to fluentamerican.com/telegram. And the reason I'm bringing this up so early is because we currently only have one spot left. Oh my gosh, there's only one spot left at our current price point. So if you are interested in it at all in getting feedback for your pronunciation every single day of the week, and literal feedback, we listen to you and give you suggestions on how you sound. This is kind of your last opportunity at this price point before it goes up forever. So this is what Telegram group looks like. People send audio files. I send feedback. This happens Sunday through Sunday, every single day of the week. So check that out if that sounds like something you'd be interested in. Quick note: we have a hello from Emmanuel. Good to see you, sir. Good morning or good afternoon to you. All right, let's get into some names from different countries. It's a long list, and there's lots of countries in Europe, so there's going to be lots that we miss. So I appreciate your understanding with that. So do encourage you again, if you do have a name you want us to review, let us know. We're going to begin with Austria and just kind of go alphabetically through things. So let's just do maybe like 3 or 4 names for boy names and girl names, and then we'll switch countries for everyone. Okay. So the first name, let's start with boys from Austria. So the first name we would pronounce as Pa. Pa. Notice the dark L sound at the end. So instead of Paul, more Pa. Pa. Try and keep that open. Jacob. Jacob. So you have an A sound followed by a short I and I. Jacob. Jacob. Third one here would be Max, would just be your nickname, Max. But there's also Maximilian. Maximilian. Notice how weak the consonants are. It's like Maxa, and then million, million. We make that into 2 syllables. So instead of million, it's just million, million, Maximilian, Maximilian. And the next one would be Elias. Elias. 3 syllables. L-E-S. Elias. Elias. For girls' names, we got Mary. I feel like almost every country has a variation of Mary, right? Mary, Mary. Next one, Amelia, Amelia. So starting off with a schwa sound, then mill again, like we saw on Max and Mill. Mill, dark L sound. So instead of mil, more just mill. And then yeah, yeah. Try to link it together. Can't. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Amelia, Amelia, Amelia. Um, Next one, Anna. Anna. I know a lot of our countries will be pronouncing it as Anna, but in the US will be Anna for Anne. The A sound plus that N. It's like Anne, Anne, Anna, Anna. And our last one for girls' names, Emma, Emma. Okay, so notice that we're not really making that M sound too strong. Just Emma, Emma, Emma. Schwa sound again. At the end. It's not ah. It's not Emma. Ah. It's Emma. Emma. That takes us through Austria. Let's take a look down to Belgium. Let's do maybe 3 for each. So first name here we'll have Noah. We have an O, then an schwa sound at the end. Noah. Noah. Arthur. Arthur. See how weak the TH sound? TH always scares people, but the TH sound is actually really weak. You want to tip your tongue down. Or against your top front tooth. I'm doing it down. Arthur. 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 Notice too in American English that the last R will be present. So it's not Arthur, it's Arthur. The third one will be Lewis. Lewis. Ooh, eh. So you have an ooh sound, like in soup, or two, followed by a short I sound is, Lewis. Next one, Olivia. So instead of leave, it's more live, short I, and then finishing again on a schwa sound. Olivia. Olivia. Notice that in this case, we break the E into 2 separate syllables. So it's not Olivia, it's Olivia. Olivia. Emma, we talked about earlier. And Louise. Louise. So the boy's name is Louis. The girl's name is Louise. Louise. Just a note there for American English. Drop down to Bulgaria. Start off with George. Not as popular a name in the U.S. anymore. It used to be very common, not so much anymore, but it still exists. In fact, our neighbor's kid is named George. So you have an or sound, then add a j sound before it, and then finish with a j. Finish, make sure that that last g sound is voiced. So it's finishing on a j, George, George. So it's not George, it's George. Ivan, Ivan. No stress on first syllable. You start with that extra heavy I sound, and then Vin with a short I. Vin, Ivan. Now we're getting into names that you don't really see in the U.S. at all. Dimitar. Dimitar. That's how I would pronounce that. Sorry if I'm doing that wrong. Not a name I've seen before. Dimitar. I don't think I've even had a student named Dimitar. And I've had a lot of students. Dimitar. Maria. So this is like you're Mary, Maria, finishing with a schwa sound at the end. Maria. Ivanka. Ivanka. Start with the E, then Van, then K. Ivanka. Stress that second syllable. Ivanka. And Elena. Elena. Stress the first syllable generally. Okay. Elena. Elena. You can say that entire name by with the tip of your tongue down if you wanted. Elena. 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 Drop to Croatia. Luca. Pop her name in the. Oh, we see a name too from Emmanuel. Mihaela. It sounds like the closest thing is the closest thing you would find in the U.S. would probably be Michaela. Michaela with like a K sound. If it just had the H, it would pronounce that as Mihaela. Mihaela. Okay. It's like Michaela, Mihaela. Just a note there. If you guys think other names, let me know. So we have Luca, then Luca, Luca. Again, when I'm doing that L, I'm using a dark L. So my tongue's down. It's just schwa. Jakov. I'm guessing that's like Jacob. Jakov. Schwa sound, Kov, Jakov. David. You'll hear common enough name in the U.S. A, followed by a short I sound. David. Female names, Mia. Common enough name in the U.S. as well. Just again, schwa sound at the end. Mia. Nika. So again, it was a ni sound. Nika. And this last one would be Lucia. I don't think people would generally pronounce it as Lucija. Probably Lucia. Moving on, countries. We got Cyprus. Got our S endings and A endings. Okay. First one here, Andreas. Next one would be Georgios. And Kostas. Or maybe Costas. I would probably say Kostas. Kostas or Costas. Kathy, would you say Kostas or Costas? Costas. My wife would say Costas. Okay. In the US, yeah. But there's still an S at the end. Kostas or Costas? I don't know. Whatever you say, we will follow. We'll follow you, whatever your guys' lead is. After that, we have Maria again. Maria just taking over. It's like Maria, like Mary Maria, like it's in the US, but I don't know if it's in the top 10 girls' names, but we've seen it very popular abroad. Eleni. Eleni. So I would expect Americans to put the stress on the first syllable. Not sure if that's right or not. And on Andrula. Andrula. Androla? Andraula. I'd probably say Andrula. And need to be correct because I don't think that's how you pronounce that name. I would pronounce this as Andrula if I were just to see it written on paper. It's funny, like for graduation in the U.S., when you graduate from college or university, they call your name, so you walk up onto the stage and you get your diploma. So you can always, there's always names that they struggle to say, even in American names. Czech Republic, Jacob we saw before, so this will probably still be pronounced as Jacob. Here we have Jan. Jan. People see that because when people see that J, they're just going to think a J sound. People not paying attention to the accent marks would probably say Thomas. Thomas, especially because it looks similar enough to the name in the U.S. Thomas versus like Tomas. Tomas. If you told people where the stress was, I think people would pronounce it right. But most likely, if people just saw it red, there's a chance they would just say Thomas. Aliska. Aliska. Because here's like we don't have accent markers in English, so Americans don't always know what to do with them. So I would imagine most people say that as Aliska. Aliska. Notice some things are happening that since my guess is that it would be pronounced as an E or something similar in the actual in Czech. But when people see those I's without vowels and things around it, they're going to treat it as a short I. So like Aliska. Anna or Anna. Anna is the more common one in North America. And people would probably say Adela or Adela. If you know what stresses are doing, then you're probably going to say Adela. But if you don't know that, you'll probably say Adela. It's like Adela or Adela. Just a note there. I'll do a couple more countries. There's a lot, guys. Denmark. Some different names. Cool. We have Oscar with A sound. Oscar. A sound at the start. It's not O. It's more A. Very open. Carl. Finish with a dark L, so it's not Carl. It's Carl. Carl. William. Common enough name in the U.S. William. William. Girls' names, we have Alma. Stress first syllable. Ida. And Clara. Okay. Not super common names in the U.S. Clara you can kind of find. Claire would probably be more common. England, Wales, we're gonna skip just because of the similarity to U.S. Oh, Robin, interesting. Okay, so Estonia representing Robin. Wasn't expecting that. All right, so we have Robin. Ah sound. So again, roll. It's more ra. Same thing with Oliver. So it's not Oliver. It's Oliver. And then Mark. Mark. Some similar names that we've seen. Mia. Again, Mia. Sophia. Sophia. And Emily. Heavy stress on that first syllable. So Mia, Sophia, and Emily. Okay. Quick hello to Code with Leos. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. If you have a name you'd like to hear how to pronounce an American accent, let me know. Finland. Okay. Interesting name. Okay. Olavi is how I'd say that. Stress the second syllable. Notice that first syllable like Olavi, just a real quick, fast. Oh, Juhani. Not too strong on the H. Juhani, stressing the second syllable again. And then Johannes. Very weak first syllable. Johannes. Maria, we've seen. Aurora. That's nice. That's a name you can find in the US as well for girls. Not like super common, but you see it. Aurora. Watch out for those R's to not let them take over. So it's not Aurora. It's Aurora. Roar. Aurora. Get your vowel enough space. And Sophia. Okay. And Sahil asks, how would you pronounce the name in American accent? So in the US, I wouldn't be surprised if people saw this and they said like Sahil, Sahil, or if they said Sahil, Sahil. So Sahil or Sahil. That would be my guess. My guess neither of those is right. Really how you would pronounce. France. We got Gabriel. Gabriel. I know a lot of other Romance languages usually have like stress marks and things might say like Gabriel, but we'll say Gabriel. Leo, Leo, and Raphael. Raphael. Notice that first syllable becomes Ra. I guess you could say Raphael. If I say Raphael, it's probably a little easier to say, more frequent. Jade is the only new name here. So Jade. Louise we saw earlier. Emma we saw earlier. Drop down Germany. Noah we've seen. Mateo. First syllable very weak for schwa sound. Mateo. Elias. Amelia. Amelia. Okay. And then Mia and Sophia we have seen from other countries. Just trying to get through as many as we can. I thought we did Greece already. Am I crazy? We'll do these really quick. So we have George. We saw John and Dimitri. I think we've seen all these. Mary. Helen. People pronounce this as Helen. Helen. And Catherine. Notice that E is just not even going to be pronounced. Typically, just completely reduced. Catherine. Okay. Hungary. Okay. Levant would be, if people just saw that, I wouldn't be surprised if that's how to pronounce it. Maybe they would also say Levante. Maybe so Levante or Levante. Here, I don't think people would pronounce this as mate. Mate would be my guess. Mate, if I saw this. Mate. And Dominic, relatively common name in the US. Dominic for boys. Here we have Hannah, Hannah, Zoe, common enough name. That's actually the name of my brother's fiance's dog. His name's Zoe. And Anna, which we've seen. I'm going to skip the Irish ones on to Italy. Okay. Leonardo. Alessandro. And Tommaso. If you're doing these with like a heavy American accent, that's how you do it. Leonardo, Alessandro, Tommaso. Sophia, we saw Aurora in Italy. Wow, I never met an Italian named Aurora, but cool. And Julia. We actually have a cousin spelled very different in the US, but the sound is the same. Julia. For the name there. All right, I know. So we do a couple more countries, then head out. Skip ahead. Trying to see countries that I know I have students from. We can do these. I know I have some Polish students and Portuguese. Anthony, or honestly Anthony, probably a more Americanized version of that. Jan again, we see, and Alexander. Notice that this in American English is going to sound more Alexander. Zofia, it's just like Sophia, but with a Z. Same thing here. Zuzana, and then Hannah we've seen as well. From Portugal, Francisco. Watch out for that cis sound. So it's not cis, it's more cis. Afonso, and how would an American pronounce this? As far as I've had Brazilian students, like Joao, probably something similar to that. Joao, okay. Next one, Maria, we've seen. Alice, we've seen, and Leonore, we've seen. Okay, so he'll ask me about Indian names. The purpose of this stream was more European names, but if you give me a list, can you send me like 3 common boy and 3 common girl names, and I'll be happy to show you. Fortunately, this list is only going to have European countries. So if you send me those, I'll be happy to show you. But again, Maria, Alice, and Leonore. Leonore. In fact, for those of you in our pronunciation group on Telegram, you guys know Leonora. Or not Leonora. Come on. Lenora. Lenora. Romania. Emmanuel, we made it. So in the US, you pronounce these as it's like Andre. Andre. Stress first syllable. On. Andre. Okay. So we have Andre. Alexandru. That's interesting. It's like a mix of. I feel like Americans would pronounce it as a mix of like Alexander and Andrew. It's like Alexandru. Alexandru. And then Stefan. Stefan. Like Stephen Curry. Curry. Or Steph Curry. For short. Girls' names Anna Maria. Anna Maria. Or just Maria. And then Andrea. Andrea. So you would expect. Andrea. Okay. For those. Slovak. I have a couple Slovak students. So Jacob again. Jacob, we seen. Samuel. Samuel. And Michael, actually. I feel like most of my Slovakian students are named Michael. So common name there. Michael. So Jacob, Samuel, Michael, Emma, Sophia, Nina. I think actually I want to say one of my Michaels, actually his daughter is named Nina. Ironically enough. Wrap up with these, then we'll see what names have been passed on to me. Emmanuel says I did very well with the Romanian names. That's how I would expect people in North America to pronounce them. Not trying to do Romanian accent or anything like that. I think that's how I would expect people in the US to pronounce it. Hello to Ade checking in. I had more Spanish students than Slovenian students, unfortunately. So I'm going to drop down to Spain, then we'll take a look at the Indian names, and then we'll head out. Spain, we have Martin. Martin. Notice the held T plus the N. It's like Martin. Martin. Hugo. Hugo. And Mateo. Mateo. Girls' names, similar things. Lucia, we've seen. Martina is probably the new one here. Martina. Martin. Martina. Notice that now because the stress is on the T, we're not doing the held T sound anymore. It's like Martina, Martina, and Sophia. All right. So we got some name stuff in. Let's see some Indian names. Okay, we got some girls' names here. So again, just going purely like if you had someone from North America, never said any Indian names before, how would they pronounce these? So Anushka, Anushka, probably stressing that second syllable, Anushka. The second one, I would just say probably like Aradhya, Aradhya, Aradhya. Okay. Next one, Shrishti, Shrishti, Shrishti. And the next one, Natansha, Natansha. So Anushka, Aradhya, Shrishti, and Natansha. Again, just purely if we're just using it on an American English sound system, that is what we would kind of expect. All right, guys. If you think of some other names that you're curious about or have some questions about, sure let us know. Thanks for sticking with me. Some quick reminders again. Our pronunciation group on Telegram, where every single day of the week I post audio files and you respond with your own so we can give you feedback. We are running against time. There is one spot left in the group at its current price point. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, then you really need to go to fluentamerican.com/telegram because once we fill up that spot, prices are going to go up. And I don't want that to happen to you. Okay. And once you're in, that is the price you'll pay lifetime. So as long as you're in the group, that's the price you're going to pay. So I encourage you to go to fluentamerican.com/telegram if you want to claim that spot. We have one last group of names. Looks Turkish. Oh, it is Turkish. Yep, for boys' names in Turkish. Okay. So again, we're just doing this on a North American system for someone, let's imagine they're not familiar at all with Turkish. In fact, I am very not familiar with Turkish at all. So how are we pronouncing these names? If we just saw them on paper, they call you up to the graduation stage to get your diploma, and they say your names, for instance, as um, that first name I could either see being pronounced as Ice or Isa, Ice, Isa. Um, the second one, Fatima, Fatima, and Aslam, Aslam. So Ice or Ice, Fatima, and Aslam. Um, for the boys' names, Oguzan, Oguzan. Or I could also see some people saying Ogujan. So Oguzan or Ogujan. The next one I could see people pronouncing as Senk or Chenk, Senk, Chenk. And for the last one there, I could see people pronouncing it as Sammy, Sammy. So again, Oguzan or Ogujan, Senk or Chenk, and then Sammy. Again, if someone didn't have any experience and they're trying their best to pronounce it. We're trying. Appreciate the kind words. We're trying out here. Willia says, I have a problem speaking with the left side of my mouth. How do I solve it? It doesn't allow me to speak clearly and fast. I've never had a student come to me with that problem before. I don't right now. I would need to think on this. I don't have a great answer for you right now, and anything I tell you would purely be a guess. If you can elaborate, if you can post a comment after the stream and elaborate a bit on the situation, that would be very, very helpful to me, in honesty, because without hearing you, it's very hard to really get an idea of what's happening. I'll be honest. I'm sorry. I wish I could give you better info than that, but I don't want to tell you anything that's wrong. All right, guys. Thank you so much for your time today. Greatly appreciate you. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more Wake Up American. Once more, my name is Jeff, Rise of Breath, one of the 4 keys to natural sound in American English. Thanks for your time. We'll see you later. Have a good day. Excuse me. Have a good night. Have a good afternoon. Take care, guys. Bye.